Now, the leader of a paedophile ring was jailed for at least 9 years yesterday. Colin Blanchard met women over the internet and asked them to sexually abuse young children in their care and send him pictures. The judge described Blanchard as warped, wicked, dangerous and devious. Mark Williams-Thomas is an expert in child protection and has spent time with Greater Manchester Police, the force which investigated Blanchard. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, he was deemed to be the instigator and the ringleader here, but there were also 4 women involved who themselves have all been prosecuted. How surprising do you think it is for people still to hear about female sex offenders of this nature?
Well, I think it is still surprising, and certainly those within the professional fields are still not coming across female offenders. And what we have to remember here is that the 2 key elements to any offender is both access and opportunity. And if we look at that, females obviously have an awful lot of access and opportunity to young children. So it's not surprising that females are offenders, but we are still not in a position that we're acknowledging that. And we know that child sex offending is the most underreported crime. And as a result of that, it's very difficult for children to come forward because a lot of offending is about power and control.
And with the best will in the world, society, all of us, in a sense, direct children towards the safety of women, don't we?
Absolutely, and this is where we need a radical rethink, because traditionally we thought of the stranger presenting the greatest danger to children, and we know that's not true. 80% of those people who are victims of sexual abuse are abused by somebody known to them. But how difficult it is to tell children that the person that presents the greatest danger to you is somebody that is known to you, and that's incredibly difficult. And as a result of that, we're not actually teaching that to children. I know a lot of schools that still do strange danger, and if they don't do that, they find it very difficult to talk about those people closest to you, because after all, how do you tell a young child that that one person that is close to you, the teacher, your grandparent, a relation, may be the person that's going to abuse you?
And in the light of all of what you just said there, what kind of message does it send when the sentences handed out to those 4 women who worked with him, with Blanchard, get much lesser sentences?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to be very clear about this, and the offences that those women committed were absolutely horrendous. I know the full detail and the gravity of that, and they were clear offenders themselves. The opportunity was probably greater because of the access on the internet, i.e. they got access to Blanchard, and Blanchard was very much a controlling figure. But
all of these women were, they all had their full mental capacity, didn't they?
Absolutely. Each and every one, they may have been vulnerable in certain degrees, and certainly he highlighted in particular, picked on people who were either single or in a relationship that wasn't perhaps going anywhere.
Were their sentences too light in your view? Because the reason I raised the question is that I wasn't clear on what the difference between the offences were, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, I think Blanchard certainly was the person that had committed the most offences, but let's be very clear, the other females that had committed their offences were very clear offenders. I would have liked to have seen an indeterminate sentence with a significant period of time for each and every one of those offenders. I know 2 of the women did, but 2 of them didn't. And I think their offending was absolutely horrendous. I mean, that they were offending on request, but they were offending because they knew that that is something that they both enjoyed, and also enabled them to grow greater development and closer to Blanchard.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us this morning, Mark Williams-Thomas, an expert in child protection.